Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to give praise and the glory and honor to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Alright, which I give you the spirit. Let's go into this lesson. Alright, also double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and who will, and they teach well through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, peace and wa shalom, wa barakim to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, which are scattered abroad and in every place, redeeming the time and ready to be saved. Shalom. Right? And what I want to get into in this lesson is the stage is being set for total chaos to be well, I'm gonna say this: the stage is set for the uproar of the people on a high level. All right, because you have the government, they have already been kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a term I'm looking for. Well, they have already been aggravating, the American citizens by inflations, the cost of living being inflated, the inflation, and now they're exacerbating, that tension, all right, by cutting the SNAP benefits, all right. Cutting the SNAP benefits, which is the food stamps, okay? And that's setting the stage for the Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, to come to pass. Second Ezra 15 and 16 to come to pass, all right? Because what do you think is going to happen when they really cut these food stamps? Because they say it's going to be on November the 1st, but we don't know if that's we don't know if it's that rumor is solid, all right. But we'll know when that time comes, which is right around the corner, all right. And but what do you think is going to happen? People's gonna crash out, man. A lot of people are about to crash out. Okay? And you have people that are not on food stamps that are going to be targeted. Oh yeah, just because you're not on food stamps and you're able to get groceries with, whatever, however with the money you get from you know, either your jobs or whatever. Well, you know, you're going to be, robbed. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of that going on in these streets, man. All right, so understand this, man. Like what we're saying is on the beginning. Hey, that's why Yahweh Shah said what he said in Matthew 24. He said, "These are the beginning of sorrows." Right? Meaning what? That this is nothing. It's going to be greater troubles. It's like there are greater troubles that are coming. Okay? And this is why we have to be, when I say we, I'm talking about us in this thing of ours, this ministry. This is why we have to practice being stoic. Being in the stoic spirit. You know? Have that cold spirit. Alright? Which I believe that, Yahweh Shema Shai is putting that spirit on a lot of brothers. That I don't give a damn spirit. Okay? Because we're coming into a time where we're going to need to be, that spirit, that attitude is going to be bulletproof. That's going to be our it's going to make us numb to a lot of things we're about to see. We're finna see a lot of people die out here, man. Right in front of you, all right? You're going to see your family members being, judged, okay? We gotta be in a stoic, you gotta have a stoic mind for that, all right? Can't be weak. Hey, that's why the scripture say this. What is it? Slot. I know it's in the second address. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 14, verse 14. It says, "Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away burdens of men. Put off now the weak nature." You see that? Yeah, put off now. Like now, at this time, put that off. Not later, but now. Okay? It's going to explain why. Alright? It says, "Put off now the weak nature. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times." Right? It says, "For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter." So we gotta be learn to be stoic now, learn to be strong now. Because guess what? This what we seeing right now ain't nothing, man. The evils that we're seeing right now ain't nothing. Right? It's gonna be greater evils than these come to transpire. Right? And if you're moved by the things that are happening now, you ain't gonna stand in when Jacob's trouble is in its climax, man. Okay? You're not gonna stand. You're gonna, hey. But if you are the elect, you know, the Lord gonna give you the strength, right? To get through the times that are coming. Alright? So, yeah, man, you know, oh, let me see. So this, you know, like I was saying, this thing with them cutting the SNAP benefits, all right, it's gonna cause things to get, it's gonna exacerbate, you know, the tension that's out here, man, among the people, all right. It's gonna get worse. So, you know, people losing their food stamps and etc. It's nothing, man. We got way greater things to worry about. What's this? 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. Let me get that real quick. Because the prophecies that are written in these scriptures has to come to pass, and it's a way, you know, it's certain things that have to happen for these prophecies to come to pass, man. All right? And we see what those things are, what those events are. All right? Through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, we can see it. All right? We see what this whole thing with them cutting the snaps benefits is leading to. All right? You know? When people are without, what you think they gonna do? Y'all finna see. Alright? So, and once again, I said it before in my other lessons, it's all really a trap of Esau. They're doing this on purpose. Alright? Cutting the food stamps, the inflation, etc. All this is a trap. You see, people can't see it, man. All right, it's all a trap because they want you to, they want you people to buck up, you know, and start, you know, losing y'all shit, start crashing out. All right, that's gonna give them the license to bring in these military troops on the streets. All right, because we go into the Posse Comitatus Act, you know, that hinders them from bringing the troops into the streets, onto, you know, the American soil. All right, but there's an exception. The only way they can get around that is the Insurrection Act. All right, when all chaos break loose, people losing their shit, running in the stores, bucking up against the, you know, officials, you know, chaos. All right, you see, so it's all a trap for them to bring in martial law. They setting y'all people up and y'all don't even see it, man. Hey, Esau is known as to be cunning. All right, they good at what they do. All right, let me see. This is. You know, I'm gonna get chapter 16 first, and then jump to 2nd Ezra 15. I want to get this first though. It says 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Chapter 16, verse 18. It says, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, Right. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Those are the words of Esdras, the prophet. He said, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right. It says, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. Alright? And that's the point I want to get right there. The evils, it said, even then shall evils grow upon earth. And these times it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. Alright? We in these times, alright? It said, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. It says sword, famine, and great confusion. What is that? What is that great confusion? People losing their minds and crashing out. Alright? That's what that great confusion is, man. Alright, so it says once again, you know what? Let me jump back to chapter 15. That's what I wanted. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse. Alright, yep. Chapter 15 verse 14, it says, woe to the world. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right. Woe to the world. That's World War III. Alright. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another. Alright? A good example of that is, those without against those that have. Okay? And ultimately it's going into, different nationalities coming up against each other. Alright? You're going to have, the blacks targeting the whites, and the whites targeting the blacks, You see? So once again it says, and one people shall stand up to fight against another. Well, okay, yep. That's what that's talking about. Because you're going to have race wars, okay? It says, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. What are those swords? Machine guns, handguns, modern day ammunition being exchanged from these different races. Alright? It says, for there shall be sedition among men, right? The word sedition, hey, you're gonna have people rousing the people up, all right? Getting the people fired up. That's what it's sedition means. All right, you're going to have people getting, the people fired up, Like, look, you're going to have look what they're doing. You know, we don't deserve this. You know, da da da. You know, getting the people roused up, and that's really going on now. That's sedition. All right, it says, and there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. A good example of that is they ain't gonna have no food. All right, and you got a lot of people that have families. All right, they have babies, infants. You know, they're gonna do whatever to feed their family. They're gonna. Let me read on. It says, and invading one another. All right. You know, you're gonna have them running into these different stores, these different, your Walmarts, Kroger's, whatever. They gonna ransack these places, man. Ransack these places. He said, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Right. That's the government. All right. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Yep. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah, because, once again, they're going to lack certain resources, man. All right, food, drink. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. All right, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. All right, you're gonna have people running into invading, you know, other people's houses. You know, if they feel like they have food in there with their weapons. All right? But shall destroy their houses with the sword. All right? It says, but shall destroy their houses. Right, they come in your houses, turn everything up. All in the cabinets, all in your refrigerator. All right? Turn your shit up. And they're going to have their guns with them, or whatever type of weapon, right? Yeah, it says, and shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? And spoil their goods, all right? And spoil their goods. What are your goods? Your food, your snacks, all that. Because of the lack of bread. You see? Because of the lack of bread, which is food. You know, they couldn't eat food stamps. Hey, a lot of people, man, you'd be amazed how many people rely on those foods from SNAP benefits, man. You know, you got people tripping because they ain't gonna be able to cook for Thanksgiving, man. All right. So it said once again, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right? And for great tribulation. You see? So it's finna get real crazy out here, man. You know? This ain't nothing yet, man. What we seeing, this is nothing. You know, Yahweh Shema Shah, he finna turn up the heat. Okay? Finna turn up the heat. You see? Because right now, we're still currently in the cool of the day. But it's getting hot. It's getting a little warm out here, though, man. All right, it's gonna get real toasty in these streets, man. got these you got obesity, you know, at an all-time high. And it's really chiefly among the so-called Judite women. All right, they finna starve. You finna lose a lot of weight. Okay. Oh man. Matter of fact, Yahweh Shai even said it. Let me get that real quick. That's that Luke chapter 6. Alright, this is Luke chapter 6, verse 25. Yahweh Shai said, "Woe unto you that are full." That's right. Woe unto you that are full. And another way of saying full is fat. Alright? That's what he meant by full. Okay? He ain't talking about, you know, when you eat and you get full, because we eat to get full, right? Alright? So that ain't what he talking about. Alright? Woe means what? Destruction. You ain't gonna get destroyed because you ate and you got full. You get full when you eat. No. Full is another way of saying fat. My tablet is dead, so I would go into the definition, but you know, go into the etymology, the blue letter. You know, one of the definitions to be large. You know, he's talking about fat, you fat obese monsters out here, man. All right, because it's against the law to be that way. All right, that's why he said, "Woe unto you that are full." All right, look what he said. He said, "Woe unto you that are full." Yeah. He said, like the Apostle Rakan said, you big Shirleys. Alright? You see, hey, the apostles ain't the first ones that talked about you fat ass people, man. Hey, Yahweh Shai was even getting on to y'all back in when he was here on the earth. Alright? You ain't got no business walking around here like that. That's why you finna lose some weight, though. Don't worry about it. Yep. It says, Yahweh Shai said, "Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger." That's right. Yeah, they cutting these food stamps. Y'all ass finna starve. You see? That's right. That's right. So, hey, these people didn't see this coming. You people didn't see this coming. We seen it though. We ain't even surprised. You got a lot of these these people around here, eyes big and a motherfucker. Hey, didn't see it coming. All right. That's why the scripture said that it will come as a thief in the night. Because you people don't see it coming, man. You've been told that these times are coming. Now look at you. You should have been listening to the prophets. I'm talking about you 2/3, man. You so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans. Hey, look, man. But hey, it's still time. It's still time. You know, it's still time because we still out here preaching and teaching and prophesying. So the Yahweh Shema Shai's hand is still, his hand and grace is still extended to you. All right? It's still time. Hey, but the famine of the word is coming too, man. All right? Then that's when the mercy, the grace is over with. The grace period is over with. All right? You know, you've been told, you've been warned. You know? We already seen this coming. And we see what Esau is doing, man. That's why Apostle Paul said, we gotta watch, we gotta be sober minded. Cause we see that Esau setting, we see this trap, man, that they doing, man. He's setting y'all up so y'all can lose y'all shit, start tripping, so they can bring in martial law. You see that? That's why, man, let me get this real quick. This is one of my favorites right here, man. 1 Thessalonians 5. And I start at 1. It said, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. You see, because we already know. All right? It says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh, that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Right? I mean, it's creeping up on you, on these people, man. All right? You know why? Because they don't know the prophecies. Okay? They don't know the prophecies. It says, for then shall they say peace and safety. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child. Yep, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, y'all brothers of the hopeful elect, man, the chosen, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. You see? You see what's going on. You see what all this is leading to. Okay? Alright, I'm going to read that again. He said, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness. Okay? That day should overtake you as a thief. You see? You can see what's going on. It says, ye are the children of light. Alright? And the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness, right? The night and the darkness is a metaphor for ignorance. Alright? It says, for they that sleep in the night. He said, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober. It ain't talking about you can't drink wine. No, be sober-minded, being aware of what's going on. You know, pay attention. All right? That's what he means. Putting on the breastplate of faith and love. All right? I'm going to read that again. He said, but let us who are of the day be sober. All right? Be sober. Okay? Let me see. Okay, yeah, like he said, let us that are of the day be sober. All right. And it says right here in 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. You see? Like he's doing the rest of these people. He's getting an advantage of them. All right? But not us, though. Okay? They don't see that they getting put in the trick bag, man. Esau's putting them in the trick bag. All right? They don't see it. Okay? It said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah, their plans, their tricks, their schemes. We see it. All right? For we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay? And the word Satan just means enemy. Alright? So yeah, man, Lord Wind was edifying and hopefully reach the ears of the hopefully elect. That's who we're here for. We ain't here for nobody else but the elect. Alright? So until then, Yahba Shemel Shah, Bashem Kakadash Brakathum, Ba Abba Baba, and Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.